Checking your nose hairs in the camera.
Okay, good evening, everybody. This is Leah, Ryan, and Loft Manager Richard from the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario with our family show a little late. They're going to be the midnight version. You guys know what to do. Post your questions or comments below, and we will do our best to answer them. I'm going to check to make sure we're on Facebook and YouTube. Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Leah. Yes, this might be a midnight show today. It might be. We had look like a hurricane was going to come through, so we didn't want to do the show and have the internet crap out. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start the show later and run the show longer. That's what the plan was for today because of the weather. And as you can see, we're not in the normal Pioneer surroundings. We're in the Pioneer kitchen. This is where our fantastic food comes from. This kitchen right here where you're at. So we want to welcome you guys in tonight. Please make yourself a drink, have a tea, sit back, enjoy the show. If you have questions, comments, this is the place. Fire them in. Don't be shy. Back to you, Leah.
Want to give a shout out to Carl Loft, Joe Sacco, Ken Lavoie, Henry Ratter is in the house. Nobody yet on YouTube. Ryan, what do you want to talk about first? Yesterday's trainer?
Oh, yeah, we can go with yesterday's trainer. Good trainer. Graduated, got them past the 15 kilometers, 9 miles. We did double toss yesterday, loft fly in the morning. Then we took them for their toss into the groups. That went okay, that went well. We turned around, basketed them back up, just to change up the puzzle. We took them back out again for a second toss of the day, which was a very good toss. Probably the best toss so far this season. They went up as a mass group. They had a little confusion. It wasn't all the same thing. I believe they got in with another group of birds. 20 minutes or so. First group came in. Then the second group came. Boom, boom. They were in. And at the end of the day, we were down 15 birds. Today, now we're down 12. So we got a few more back. And the group gets stronger.
Loft Manager Richard, would you like to talk about yesterday's trainer?
I'm saying it was good.
Good.
They must learn.
Sure.
This is part about learning. The three that came, I think it was three came this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Not together.
Mm-mm.
The rest of them, I don't know if they hooked up somewhere or when I let them up, they looked like when you go to the first combine race, when young birds are in a first combine race. It looks a little bit like confusion or something. They were together.
Mm-hmm.
They were in a tight kit.
They're kind of looking for who's going to take to the lead here.
Yeah,
I know that look you're talking about. I've seen it a few times.
I think they got comfortable with their groups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, red, blue, yellow, and
Yep.
green groups, separate groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were put together,
It's only their
I think
second
there
time
was
together.
a little bit of, they got a little confused. They went up nice and high.
Hey, you want to know
And
what?
They circled really, really well. And
Richard.
I can't see them getting
Richard.
hooked up at 6:30 in the
I
afternoon.
don't know. I think they got in with somebody, but that doesn't matter because what is it? What is it called? We call this training. If every training toss that you take your birds on is perfect, you're not training them. They need the mix-ups, the screw-ups. That's what you need. You need that.
I started off last year with about 60 young birds. And by the time the training was over, I started with 45.
Mm.
I lost 15 off in training tosses.
Mm.
And by the end of the season, I ended up with 24 left, flying 9 races every week.
Right.
Okay.
We're about the same.
Yeah.
Brian Mansker is in the house. He has a question. Tomorrow, he's doing a double toss. His question is, should I still loft fly in the morning?
Sure. Loft fly them in the morning, get them in. And then you can basket them, let them sit for a bit, take them. When they come back, give them a bit of water, a little bit of feed. You don't need to give them very much. then basket them again, let them sit, and do it again. There were times, and you could, Leah, before you were ever on the show, you can vouch for me. Did I train sometimes 5 times a day?
Yes, you did.
That's right.
I did. This is nothing. And I got people on YouTube or Facebook, whatever. They're going to carve me a new one. I'm going to tell you, the damn pigeon hasn't even gone to work yet. And you know what?
Excuse me.
We didn't lose no pigeons, eh?
The Pigeons lost us.
Yeah, the pigeons have to want to play the game.
Those 12 now.
Good. And I hope they don't come back. The reason being is?
I've seen situations where they're going to come back 2 or 3 weeks later.
Oh, those are normally good ones.
Yeah,
I've seen that, yes.
And then you rest them, welcome home, but give them a couple tosses, and they get to they miss the first race, and you pop them into the next race, and bang, they're right there.
But come back or not, normally these ones that you lose, very rare that they come back and they're great. There's flaws in them here. We're talking 15 kilometers. This is a flaw.
I know guys in Europe, in England, I've talked to different guys, and they'll take them on a short toss like this, and if they don't beat them home,
they never graduate them.
No, they don't graduate. They put them right back in the basket. They come home 10 minutes after he's back. They go in the basket, back to the same spot. If they don't beat him again, in the basket, back to the same spot. Who was it? Paul
McAloney said 6 times. Yeah. 6, 7 times in a day.
In one day.
Right.
Back in the basket.
To the
spot. So these guys here, and you got to understand at this age, they're all in a teenage stage. Most of them. And, when we're teenagers, we're 17, 18, 19 years old, boy. We can go out and party for 3 days. Oh, I'm going to a party tonight.
Yeah.
Halfway through the party, somebody says, guess what?
We're going to another party.
There's another party down there. Oh, geez, I'm going to go down there. Oh, my mom said I got to be home by midnight.
Yeah.
I can sneak in through the back window.
Yeah.
Then I'll go to another party. You don't realize it.
Friday, so all of a sudden you come home Sunday
Right.
at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're hungover.
So these birds are in a teenage stage. They got carried away with themselves. And those 12 that aren't here today,
good.
Some will be tomorrow,
Good.
and whatever isn't here, and that's part of it. If you don't lose pigeons training, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're not training.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong. Anybody that says to you, I started with 60 young ones, and I made the first race with 59, he's doing something wrong.
Or there's the goldenest horseshoe up his butt, and I like to see him get into that first race. Now there are going to be guys that come on and say I don't lose any and blah blah blah. Okay, good. You know what? We've had pigeons too many years. Have you ever had a perfect season? You don't lose any in training. Have you ever had one? Have you ever?
No.
There you go.
Right. I'm saying those guys, people that say, well, it's too warm today, I didn't train. No, it's too windy today, I didn't train. Oh, there's not enough cloud. I didn't train. It's not.
You can make excuses until it's over and done with. You could say yesterday, well, you lost. You had them all home after the first one. Why'd you go back at it? Well, hey, if I was partners with Paul McAloney, unfortunately, guys, I'd have been at that spot yesterday probably 6 times.
Well, you gotta be strict. We had I had a situation where I said to Ryan, I said, there's a bird back on your board. And he went and got it. Did you get it off the board or did it come in?
It was stuck in the chute.
Shut in the chute because it's not used to the chute. He grabbed it. He said, it's one of yours. It was one of mine, one of my banded birds. And I said, okay, took it over and put it in the other basket. And then I went to put it back in the loft and I looked at it. I said, I'm sorry. Goodbye, Charlie. That was it. I'm not taking that shit.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Mike Vanderyak has a question. Has LMR separated his breeders yet?
No, I got him on pot eggs.
And
that's it.
That's it.
I haven't separated them yet.
Not getting yet. No. Next month.
Question for the audience. Have you guys separated your breeders yet? Let us know in the comments. Michael Peebler, hello, hello. So getting back to this trainer, just want to let everybody know, and then we'll get into everybody's questions. I will throw up where we are going tomorrow. So tomorrow they go on their first 25-kilometer trainer. I will throw up the map right there. There it is. We are going up to Ravenshoe Road, and hopefully LMR does not get shot. But that is happening tomorrow. Ryan, you're going to be doing the loft fly as per usual tomorrow morning.
That man, if he comes out again with a shotgun, I am going to be having an AK-47. It pumps off about 1,000 shots in about 2 minutes.
You know what you just need? You need a good high rifle, high powered paintball gun. And just hit him with the paintball gun because you know what? He'll feel it.
I'm gonna ask him, is that a pump shot or what do you got in that thing?
No,
but last year when he gave me that terrible hello.
Anyway, we had issues at the location, which I'm sure we're going to find out about tomorrow when we go. Let's move on because we don't want to be here all night stuck on the same thing on repeat.
I'm just going to say I felt like I have a lot of pop cans.
No, here we go.
I was going to take 150 pop cans and drop them right in front of his driveway.
Well, that's nice. So
okay, sorry about that.
Moving on.
We're trying to move on.
Richard is just kidding, and Richard is just kidding, and Richard does not have an AK-47. Please. Let's not encourage the trolls.
I'm sorry, I
Dad,
don't have
please.
an AK-47. But
Mike Vandriak. Okay, enough of the silliness. Mike Vandriak says, in 50 years of racing, I have had one perfect young bird season. I guess that means so through everything, like no deaths as youngsters, no losses in training at all, and not one loss during the race season. So like you hatched 50. And you finished 9 weeks of racing with 50? That's pretty good.
You're very good, excellent.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. Some people are going to have perfect seasons. And I always find the guys that have the perfect seasons, the guys that fly about 2 races, and then they stop flying. Those are the ones that have the real perfect seasons. But anyways, training toss is going to commence again tomorrow. We're going to loft fly them in the morning, so I'll be up about 6:30, get them up, get them going, get them in.
Now, yesterday, I wasn't here when the first group came. Apparently, Frank Eichhorn was here, and he said a hawk flew through.
No. The birds that you have out, all your little misfit toys you got running around here? Right, the hawk flew over and got them. Let's follow the bouncing ball.
That's what I'm saying. The hawk was kicking around.
We're not going back over this. Just stay in your lane. Go ahead, Leah.
Glenn says, I haven't separated for a long time, but always pay a price when trying to get them down on eggs. Hello, Jason Mihalik. Do you guys find the longer you wait, the harder it is? Or why do you guys wait till now? Or what's the thought process behind waiting?
We're just keeping them happy. I don't know. You're just leaving them together. We don't have the time to separate them. You back the feed off, give them pot eggs, and they're molting fine. They're acting fine. They still love each other. They go out in the big aviary, and you know what? That's what we're doing. That's what it is. I don't know.
Keeping them happy.
Keeping them happy. I don't think it's they're stock birds. It's not the be all and end all. I mean, you ask Mark Codwell. He separates his birds the first week of October and puts them together the second week of November. Other than that, his birds are all together all year long.
What I find with race birds, if you keep them together longer, when they're happy, they molt better. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure. Happy or not.
If they're depressed?
No, they'd be depressed for a week, and then you know what? They do their thing. They're not people here, eh?
No, they are.
Brian Mansker has a special request, but then Mike Vandriak is answering your question, so we'll get to Brian's request in a moment. Mike Vandriak says, 15 hatched from 8 pair. 1 old hen laid only 1 egg. All raced 7 of 8 combine races. All 15 made it through to the end. Wow.
Well, you didn't. It wasn't perfect because the old hen didn't punch out a perfect one. So hey, we're gonna knock that 50 off, Mike. Because you want to know why? Daddy said so. You said it yourself, right out of your own words. Yesterday, I had a perfect training toss. Why? because I turn the screwdrivers a little bit more, and that's perfect for me. Okay, so Mike didn't have a perfect season. We've got that down. Brian, you're next. Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, Brian's asking, do you have the ability to show how to handle pigeons and how to evaluate the strength of the back?
Can you go out there and get me that blue grizzle cock? Go.
What did you say?
Just go
what
get me the-
did you
go-
say about my birds there? You said what kind of birds were they?
No,
Some
the
kind
ones
of-
you got out in the barn.
What do you call that again?
Shit twisting? That's what I call it. Now take your earbuds out because we don't want to drag the show on.
All those birds out there.
So go grab me do me a favor, grab the blue grizzle cock and find one with a mediocre back. And I don't want to go in the one loft race because then I will center people out. So you grab one of yours. I know you don't have many that are that bad, but that blue grizzle, I'm gonna have to put on a Yugoslavian accent to do it.
Oh no, please.
No.
Okay, so sit tight, pop your popcorn. If things are about to get fun around here. Okay, so while we wait for LMR, let's throw up the winners of yesterday's 15-kilometer graduation training flight number 8, by the way, as I try and find why isn't anything ever easy? As I try and find the photo. Here we go. Everybody give a big round of applause to yesterday's winners. Winning first place and $100, Gladiator from South Shore Lofts. Second place, winner of $50, The Teacher, South Shore Lofts. Third place, winning $25, Robbie Taylor, Kid Bird Loft, and Roosh. A big round of applause for all of our winners yesterday. Where is it? Ryan, clap. Thanks for clapping, Ryan. Good job.
I didn't want to make it too loud in the thing. I did
the imaginary clap.
Yeah, I pretend I've been on floats, many a float in my day. But interesting fun fact: Dave Ottaway comes off the top rope, takes the first 2 positions, which is great. But there we are again in third place, Leah, another auction bird. Isn't that something? The auction birds are already making money.
Yeah, not last week, but at the 5-kilometer, Curtis won, and that was loft manager Ricky donation. And this graduation, Roush won, which was the auction donation from Wayne Bodwine, purchased by Robbie. So hey, Trey and Robbie are already in the lead here. Well done.
Yeah. And that's what we wanted, right? We wanted guys to give good auction birds, and I think they did. And you know what? We're already starting to see that.
Well, I am super happy with Karen from Klaus Petzold. Super happy with Karen. And I can't wait. Yeah. She's just holding back a bit. Once we get going, once the real money starts cooking, yeah, she's just holding back. She's giving everybody a chance, as Karens do.
Well, I know, Leah, there, you were a little worried about the trainer. You were all.
Well, I thought it was a good idea. Oh, I got caught up in the moment, and I'm like, yeah, let's do a double toss. I think it'll be great. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh, that was a bad idea. But this morning, I put things in a little bit better perspective, and I'm like, yeah, it was only 15 kilometers, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. I think we get a little bit worked up, right? Because the feelings start to come into play, and we root for them, and we want them to do well, and we panic when things don't, go according to what you think in your mind. So I'm over it now. I think it was fine. Are we going to do it tomorrow? No.
Yeah. We're going to do it again. We're going to have another double toss. Hey, maybe we'll have a day where there's a triple toss. You know what? Every year is a little different. You can change things up. But Ricky's now got 2 birds here. One with a good back, hopefully, and one with an average back.
Well,
boy.
Okay, so Ryan's
gonna show Brian first.
Ryan, don't get me confused here, Ryan. Ryan's gonna start here. If anybody wants to know, hopefully you guys can see. Let's talk about what does a weak back mean, and why is it? What's the issue with a weak back? Go.
Well, I think a pigeon has got to be somewhat in balance, right? Put together right. And you take a look. Everything should be together on the pigeon. Now you could look at this pigeon from the side. The back is very strong. You look at it from here, the back is very strong. The back is strong in my hands. Okay? If the tail came like this, it's fine. Tail comes up a bit, it's fine. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. Up, up a bit, middle, down, fine. But I want it to stay. I like it spoon-tailed. You see there, Leah? Can you see the spoon?
I can see the spoon. Yes, I can. Yep.
Right? You see that spoon?
Yep.
Okay? Now, when I handle this pigeon in my hands, I put it in. Wow, eh? I'm going to say to you, wow. Super muscle. Soft feather. Silky.
Vent bones.
Let me talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stay in your lane. I'm handling everything quickly. I can feel the tightness. I feel the vibration. Keel to the vent. Not even a finger. The vent bones feel like steel. They're touching. They're nice and tight. He's compact. I lift up the wing. As soon as I pull up the wing, just pull it up that much, I start to feel the rumble. And I can feel the rumble in this pigeon even on the keel bone. And I check out the forearm is nice. You got a nice snap to the wing. Okay? But in my hands, his back is tight. Right? I don't have to take the bird. Look at the bird before this. The back's nice and tight. Look, is that doing anything? Nothing.
No.
Now hold on. Somebody who knows nothing about pigeons. I don't give a shit if you won $200,000. I don't care if you won the $1 million race, the Victoria Falls race, the Hoosier race, and blah dee 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 dee. That don't mean you know shit about a pigeon.
Tell the people.
When you see your pigeons loft fly, you tell me how many of them start to fly like this, with the legs open. Okay? I don't know. I ain't never seen a pigeon with his legs open. Okay? This doesn't change nothing on how the bird's back is. And doing this, okay? Look. You know what? I think you need to sell them for more money. More money. Because all I know is you ain't a pigeon handler. You're what we call plain old brain dead. You can see the pigeon clearly in your hands. When I'm holding him with the feet tucked back as he would be flying, how is his back?
It's perfect.
It's the way God intended them to be. Perfect back.
How's his keel and his vents?
Keel of the vent's perfect. The muscle's good. Okay? You don't have to stretch the legs out 4 miles.
Please.
Look, get your face in between there.
Don't hurt my pigeon or I'll take it off your hand.
There you go. So that's what we're showing you.
Okay, this one here is not as good as that one. I like to keep pigeons that are darn
Right.
nice.
Okay, this is another one of those pigeons. The back now on this pigeon,
It comes up a bit.
it comes up a bit. I'm not opening it. His tail is tight.
Right.
It comes up a bit.
It
can come up. It doesn't come up like this. It's coming up a bit.
Ideally,
tight.
I like to feel them like this. And
Right.
most of my birds are like this. But this guy, he flew well last year. He's not all that bad.
He's not all that tight. But hey, can I tell you something? If I look at him in your hands and I see him, he's got a tight back. His back is not as flopped.
His tail just comes up.
And nothing happens differently when I do this. All I know is he's saying to me, why are you pulling my legs apart? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't fly with my legs open. And that's that. So I think that wrapped it up.
In the short version, how do you check for the back and what are you looking for? Again, the short version.
The short version is I don't want to see a bird with a tail that's constantly open. I want a nice tight back.
Yeah, and
I want the tail to stay tight.
Yeah.
It can come up, down a little bit. Keep it tight. And sometimes you got to let a bird calm down in your hands.
I like to see the tail out straight. I don't like to see it going one way, going the other way.
Keep it straight.
Yeah, and
like a bowling pin.
I don't like to pick a bird up and have the tail go like this.
Yeah,
I don't know if people can see.
Yeah, the tail shouldn't go straight up
like this, right? I don't like a short back.
And
that guy is a little
he's
bit,
a little bit
short, but I felt a hell of a lot worse.
So overall, that's what I'm looking for in a pigeon with a good back. And you find a lot of them.
How's his vents? His vents
are nice.
Yeah.
This bird doesn't have the same back as that one, but
what
it's
are
still
vent bones, anyways? What are they?
I'll let you explain that because you love to talk about vent bones, Rick.
No, we're not talking about vent bones right now. But yeah, a pet peeve. The 2 pet peeves, I think, and I think Ryan hit the nail on the head when you said the one pet peeve, spreading open the legs or doing that. Please don't do that. It shows you know nothing about pigeons. The Europeans will laugh their asses at you. Please do not do that. The second thing, which I think Ryan hit the nail on the head, you have to let the birds calm down. What's another pet peeve you have when we have our open houses during auction? Guys that come in like raccoons
Oh yeah,
after the
you
birds.
catch them. You catch them like a raccoon. Everything's loose. Everything's loose. The birds get all freaked out. No respect. Okay.
You know, this
No
is the
respect.
thing. If you're not sure how to go in that show cage
Nice.
and grab that and get that pigeon in a calm manner without going in there like a crazy lunatic, if you're not sure how to do it, ask Ryan or ask Richard or ask whoever is hosting the auction. Ask them to grab the bird for you or show you how to properly get the bird from the show cage. Because if you go in there like a crazy fool and try and get the bird, when you get the bird to go and handle the pigeon and get the best feeling possible out of that pigeon, you're not going to get it because the bird is nervous, right?
I've been to different lofts in Europe, and if they go out to get you a basket of pigeons, they will always bring you out a basket of pigeons in a widowhood crate. And the reason that is, when a bird goes into a widowhood crate, single stall crate, they put the birds into the basket, they bring it up to the house, you're having a coffee, you're having a beverage, you're talking. They bring out kid caviar. He brings them out, takes them out of that widowhood crate. The bird is calm, he's compact, he's relaxed. Puts them into your hand, bang, right away, you're handling a good pigeon. You feel it. That's why in Europe, here you don't see it. You don't see nobody using widowhood crates, but over there, they got widowhood crates coming out of their yin yang. They like using those kind of crates.
And I know because I've been to the show. I've been to the Houten show in the Netherlands. You guys have been to many shows over there. The majority of the breeders that have pigeons there for sale, they have them in a locked up, and they do have them in show cages. But the show cages are either locked or they're standing in front of them, and you must ask before you approach a show cage and handle their birds. They will get it for you and give it to you. Is that not true 99% of the time there?
All the respectable booths, that's the case.
And that's why. It's because they don't want a bunch of raccoons going in there and grabbing their pigeons and having their pigeons get all rangy, and then they'll handle the birds and say, oh, this handles like a piece of crap. Well, you just attacked it in a show cage for the last 30 seconds. How do you think it's going to handle?
And you have to remember, when you go into an event like that, or not an event, you even go to your local auctions, 40 guys go into the room, 40 guys handle that same grizzle. Sometimes they handle the bird 3 times. They go through and go through and go through. That bird in an hour and a half, he's basically going like this. What in the hell did I sign myself up for?
I've noticed people going into where they can handle birds, and they absolutely are baboons.
Yeah,
that's exactly what.
Yeah, right.
That's what we're talking about.
Don't you have respect for that bird, mister? It's like, come here, I want to see you, and grab him by the hair and drag him in. Like, wait a minute, let's have some respect.
That's it.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I think it's something that this year in Feathers Elite Open House Season 4 is going to be enforced. Because I've been there myself and seen it with my own eyes. If you're not sure how to get the pigeon, ask. And maybe we're going to just have you guys be runners or whatever, because it's not fair to the birds, and it's not fair to the breeders.
Hold on.
Some of the people there that have their events, they have a lock.
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Oh, you already talked about it.
Oh, yeah, you put the birds in.
Lock and key. So you want to see that? Yeah, okay. They get the key, unlock it. We'll see it. Otherwise, so they have total respect.
You're going to get the pigeon to handle for you the best when it is calm. Ryan, we even find it ourselves when we're doing the videos for the auction birds. If we're a little bit wound up or you're a little excited, the birds can feel it, and we have a hell of a time shooting the videos sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, we listen. Every grading we do, the birds go into the widowhood crates for about an hour and a half before we set up. because it gives us the best true feel of the pigeon. When the pigeon is calm.
I'd like to say something that if your pigeons have most 99% of the birds that do well in the races have a good conformation.
Yeah.
They're not, okay, I call this, when I handle them, they're raggy. They put their wings up and they got their tail up and I call it raggy, okay? The pigeons that work for you and do the best for you, 99% of them have a good conformation.
Yeah.
Right. 99% of them, we're going to get eye sign. They have a good eye sign. 99% of them. Okay. Now, and you could have a pair that race for you, do very well, and they have perfect conformation, like that grizzlecock.
Yeah.
You put them to a hen that has the same perfect conformation, has a perfect buoyancy.
Everything.
Right. Everything's perfect. And it's happened to me before. I get young ones come out of it, and I go, oh,
They're bad.
what happened to here? This just feels like garbage. But you got to watch it. I find the pigeons show their conformation the best when they're about a year old, a year and a half old. You could take a pigeon that you handle off this nice pair, and they just feel like garbage in the hands. They go through growing stages. It's like sometimes you see a kid that's 13 years old. He's 7 feet tall. He's skin and bones. He looks like he'll never be a man. But see that same guy 10 years later.
And, if I can just interject here, and then we have some comments, and ABC Loft has been waiting patiently on YouTube with a question.
Okay.
But I think, Ryan, that's why it's in Europe when they auction off birds, or even though what they say the Chinese, they're not looking for the youngsters. They want the yearlings. Like, they think it's weird here that we only want to buy youngsters, or it's more, you know what I mean? It's more common that people want the youngsters as opposed to the yearlings. If we try and bring a yearling here, what do the people say? Well, what's wrong with it? Well, why did, am I not right?
I think wait till they're a yearling. I think put them through, let them do some work.
The Canadian, and I'm saying more the Canadians than the Americans, but I know the Canadians, they got this in their head, right? That they bred out of them for one season. They didn't breed them any good. They stuck on a plane to Canada. I'm going to tell you something, guys, right now. The people that are giving us the birds, that their job here is to get repeat business. They want you to do good with the birds. They don't put birds on a plane to come out with a bad result. They don't do it with us because, number one, we give them the show. We give them the song. We give them the dance. We show everything. And those birds are put on display properly.
Let me cut in here. The birds that we get from Europe
are picked by us.
Are the breeders?
Yeah,
we pick them out.
That's right.
Do you know how many breeders, pigeon keepers there are in Europe? Unbelievable.
1 million.
Do you know how much crap is out there? Just because you think you're calling some guy up in Holland or Belgium or Germany, some guy out of the blue, and I've heard so many guys say, did you know that bird's from Holland? You know what? That means nothing. Because there's a lot of crap breeders in Europe. But the ones that we get in this, that we auction, we interview them, we watch what their results are. I'm telling you, these people want to send us quality, right? We just don't call up Mr. Schmidt in wherever
and get birds.
Because we can tell everybody we got birds from Austria.
Ryan, I know we're going to move on here, but how many in the last 3 years, how many Europeans have contacted us and asked us if we want to do auctions for them? And we've taken a look at their results, and what have we said to them? I'm sorry, you're going to have to come back in 5 years when you get some bigger, better results. We don't know who you are. The results don't really say nothing. And then we ask around to our friends in Europe because, it's a big world, but it's a small world, and we get their feeling on it. And we've turned down many. I mean, just because you're from Europe does not give you a license to come and sell on Feathers Elite Pigeon auctions. Like, that's not what we're about.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, and people say about our marketing and about our marketing, yeah, we market a good product. That's what we do. You know what? That's what we do. We market the birds that I think will do well. I mean, you can take a look at people who have purchased birds from our auctions, and they're doing really, really well, and that is great.
Yeah, that's super.
There,
I mean,
the guy in Mexico. Look at the guy in Mexico.
The ones that we know about, the ones that once they buy the birds, they don't, crop our logo out and put them up as their profile pic, because that really irritates me. All right, moving on. Dave Ottaway said if a guy spread legs on his birds like that, he is off the property. Absolutely. And Tony says Ryan warned me many times about the show cages. He thinks it helped. ABC Loft has a question. Can I take my birds on a toss a day after getting their second dose of PMV and salmonella vaccine? The day after.
You know what? I don't know what to say. I have those vaccines done long before
I start
training, so I've never done it.
I'm not. Okay. So look, I'm gonna use some common sense here. You vaccinated them, let's say today. I wouldn't take them tomorrow. Maybe I give them 2-3 days off. Maybe, okay, and that's that. I think it'll get, maybe be they're not.
I think those vaccines should have been done before you start loft flying even. That all should have been done. That's what I'm
trying. You try and get them done. I mean, if you've already done one shot of them, you want to leave them, hey, leave them. It's okay. I mean, they're out there now. They're flying good. They're training good. I don't even think you need to add that into the mix.
Well, it gives them a little bit of a booster. A third shot does nothing.
Okay, if you want, give them a day or two off. And if somebody else knows, maybe Dave will have an idea on this. Give them a couple days off and then go back. It's fine.
Okay, we were going to ask the audience, guys, what do you think? Second vaccination, can he train the day after giving the second vaccination? Does he need to give the second vaccination? Let us know in the comments. Mike Vandriak says, is Rusty going to be outside loose waiting for the trainers to return tomorrow?
Mike. Rusty,
Mike, I need you to, again, put your seatbelt on and stay in that lane. Don't worry about Rusty. Rusty is doing what Rusty does best. I'm actually finding this year the birds are almost looking at me as the dropper, so that's okay. But yeah, we will have Rusty out tomorrow for you, Mike. Don't worry, I'll have him out there. I'll get him fired up.
Dave Ottaway says I have bred very good pigeons off yearling imports or 2-year-olds from Feathers Elite in the last 2 years. There you go. And Dave, doesn't buy no garbage. Dave knows what he's looking for, all aspects. Was it pedigree, the eye sign? He's looking at everything, and he's had no problem with the yearlings purchased from us. So.
I think
Jay-Z is in the house. Hello.
Oh yeah. Well, we're working on the national sprint. I think this national sprint ace Pigeon of Holland. A gentleman has it that we've done auctions for. He wants to send us the bird, right? I think the bird is 2018, and I'd love it, but he's already been offered over 10,000 euros.
Really.
And he wants to bring it to us. He says, I want to give North America the very best. And you get nervous on bringing in a pigeon like that, because number one, the pigeon is 2 years old. The bird's bred him good already, but he is so excited about doing well here in North America. He said, oh no, I want to bring it. But what worries me is the North American people, they look at it.
See, he's 3 years old.
He's 3 years old. He bred out of him, no good. Not true. So that's what I worry about. And that's what we talk, Leo, when we have our meetings of what we're doing for auctions. Sometimes you got to watch, right?
Right. Okay, I'm going to get to some answers here. Mike Vandriak says salmonella is a live vaccine. It knocks the birds down for at least a week. PMV is a killed vaccine and does not hurt to train them the next day. Dave Ottaway says, give them 2 days off training. Yes, a booster is preferred to step up immunity. Troy says, I would let them rest in the loft 3 days in the loft after vaccinating them. Guido says, yes, you need the second vaccination. One shot only covers them for 16 weeks. The booster shot extends the immunity for the year.
Good. See, we learned
And
something.
then Dave Ottaway says, not the combo with PMV, Mike. It's a dead vaccine.
Ooh. There was some swerving going on in those lanes, Leah. You see that?
Okay, what I say is, I don't know why this gentleman or person
Okay.
is vaccinating when he's training now. I have all that done. My youngsters come out of the nest.
Hold on, this could be a later
listen,
round.
Okay,
because maybe he's new at it and maybe he didn't know. So let's educate him
Yeah.
instead of let's educate him.
Yeah. And maybe these are a later round, what have you. But there, I think you hear from Guido, from Mike, from Dave, from us, and from Troy. You can do it. It's not a big deal. And hey, you know what? If it's going to be beautiful weather where you are this week, don't vaccinate him. Keep the training going. Next week, hey, it looks like it's going to be bad weather, Monday and Tuesday. Boom, hit them. Give them a day or two off, 3 days off, and away you go.
That's right.
But ideally, you should have all vaccinations done before you start training.
Try to.
That's right. You give a shot. Yeah, give a booster shot. The third shot, if you give a third shot, it gives such a very little bit of help. It's really, really worthless.
Can I ask you a question? We're not on to the third shot. We're just talking about the
some people give a third shot and they think they're going to give shots and shots and shots. They're just wasting their money.
Oh, Leah,
wasting their time.
We don't want to get into getting vaccination shots. Moving on, Leah.
No, we're not talking about that. Guido has a good suggestion. Law fly them at home and see how they act. If nothing is out of the ordinary, carry on with training. If they act strange, don't want to fly, give them a break. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Hey, that there, right there, that was the most common sense. It's such a stupid answer. It's such a smart answer because it is what it is. Well, take a look at them. Look how they look after you vaccinate them. Oh, look, they're sitting on the butts of their wings and aloft. The birds are cooing. I let them out. They went up like tipplers. They flew great. You know what? They're telling you.
But if you let them out, let's say the day before, they flew for half an hour or an hour, and then you vaccinated them, and then you let them out the next day, and they only fly for 5 minutes. Well, they're sore, they're hurting, they feel down. Maybe
they're not right.
Yeah,
give them. Yeah, that's right. Good call, Guido. I like that answer.
Good job. So ABC Loft, I hope that answers. Oh, he just responded. I only did 6 birds. That was born in late May.
Oh, okay. You're all right. There you go. See? Late breads. I knew they were late breads. ABC.
You're getting a bit late.
Hopefully that helps. Dave says, I do shots when weaning 4 weeks later, then 6 weeks, third and last, my way.
Yeah, okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Each to your own. At least you know what? Dave knows. He's got them. He's hit them, right? That's it. Moving on.
All I'm saying is I talked to Bob the vet, who was a pigeon man. Right. He's a veterinarian. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, give the 2 shots. Mm-hmm. He said the third shot. He said the first shot does this.
You told me.
Okay. The second shot does this. Mm-hmm. He put it on a scale. And he said if you do a third shot, it does almost nothing.
Okay.
And he said those shots last, as the year goes by, it slowly dissolves in the body or leaves the body. That's why you should do it once a year.
Once a year. All right. Moving on.
Okay.
Okay, so no other questions or comments. Anything else we want to talk about this evening? Oh, the Sprint Series. So the Sprint Series, there's $7,000 in the pot now.
Wow.
And tomorrow it's open to public activation. So that means anybody will be able to activate your pigeon and fly in the Sprint Series. So if you were sitting on the fence wondering whether or not you want to activate, now is the time. Tomorrow it's open to everybody. $7,000 in the pot divided by 4. How much is that per sprint? Let's get my calculator.
1,000
by 4.
700.
1750 per sprint right now in the pot. Well done, everybody. Keep going.
That's a sprint race before the first race. This is just like having an open race.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
It
mean?
was a lot of fun. Hey, look at yesterday. Look at yesterday's 15-kilometer
It was like an
graduation.
opening. Yeah.
I mean, Frank and Kathy were here. They had a great time watching those birds come in. You could feel the excitement. Dave there came with the first two positions. Congratulations. An auction bird was third. Great job there.
Which auction bird was it?
It was Wayne Beaudoin's. Who purchased it, Leah? I always
Robbie
forget.
Robbie Taylor.
Oh,
Robbie Taylor.
Congratulations to him. Yeah.
You know, and again, guys, there's junior birds. There's
Oh,
junior
and
birds
well,
in this loft.
the juniors are we sold some more today, so that's good. So
Yeah.
that's working. I'm glad to see people are getting involved in that. Well done. We'll have them all
Yeah.
activated. You'll see. It'll happen.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if there's 30 juniors there, there's got to be one good pigeon, two good pigeons. And you know what? Out of those 30 pigeons, there's got to be 2 or 3 pigeons that are going to get lucky on one of the 9 races. So, guys, you're in luck.
So that's,
get out there and activate.
That's like 12 shots.
There's a lot of shots, man.
There's 12 shots. You're giving 3 prizes away, right?
First, I have to, yeah.
Right? So there's 12 prizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 shots of winning cash.
That's right.
And I mean, really, do you know any other races here that are giving that kind of money for that little a distance?
I'm looking at races around here.
Mm-hmm.
I seen today. I'm on the wormhole here, right? They got out there, out west there, or out east. The guy there, Salem. They got the bird loft flying, eh? I see 150 birds flying and the roof packed. 29-second video. You know what I said to myself? Poured myself a stiff drink and I said, thank God I didn't waste my money going there. 29-second video. No inventory. No nothing. What are with these races? Why can't they do better? Why don't they want to do better? I don't understand this. And all of us, we're all dumb sheep, eh? Because you know what we keep doing? Go back, go back, go back. We look at the end result though, eh? How did I do at their so-called 300-mile pretend racing? How did I do? Well, I was first. I was came out of there with my money back. I'm going back next year to do it again. You're not improving your breeding program. Forget it. I'm so grateful I'm not in these races. I'm done.
I went to a one loft race one time. I went to a few. And
Okay, we're not getting on that. We're not getting on it.
Coming back from 300 miles.
You always say that. They're up there gliding because they don't go to 300 miles.
The guy's on the roof throwing tennis balls, trying to get them to come down on the board. And they just flew 300 miles. Come on, man.
That's because we were all sheep and we keep going back.
Well, you know,
anyways,
it's a tailwind.
All right, enough, Ricky.
Guido says that he gives him the first shot in the nest at 3 weeks. Then again, 4 weeks later, the more you stick them, the more you boost their immune system.
Good. Boost. That's the key. Keep boosting. Get them up there. Anything else?
So, well, I just had a question about the sprint series. Mm-hmm. Seeing as we're at 25 kilometers tomorrow, do we have any kind of trajectory as to when the first sprint might take place? Tomorrow's Tuesday.
So I would figure we're gonna have let's just go on the high side here. Let's say we're gonna do the graduation on Friday or Saturday, right?
Well, based on what the weather's going to be, and based on how, I'm thinking more maybe Saturday-ish probably for the graduation. I think we're going to need a full solid 4 days at this, I think.
Okay, so we'll do we're gonna look Saturday again, probably for the graduation. And then we'll move out to that 25-mile spot. Now, we haven't decided, Leah. This is a great question to ask. The audience, you could ask it. Or I was thinking maybe what we want to do is we want to get out the 25s out of the way, get the 40 or the Brecken out of the way, get the first Gravenhurst even out of the way, and then do the sprint series all like boom, 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 boom. What are you thinking? Or do you want to just go as we graduate them up? We can do that. That's fine. Never mind.
Well, then it's not going to be till the end of July, right?
Yeah, no, we're gonna do the sprints the same way we did them last year. Now that I think about it, it'll be more fun. So we're gonna do, once we get to that 25-mile spot, they're gonna do, that week of training or that course of training in their groups, and then we'll have the graduation and then the sprint.
Yeah, like Troy says, the weather's been messing around. And yes, Jay-Z, you are correct. Your fourth auction, the bird you purchased in the auction, get it out, Leah. Yes, did come fourth yesterday. So that is another auction bird that is doing awesome. So well done. So that means we'll probably be looking at the first sprint to be like next week sometime.
Late next week.
Late next week. So either Thursday, Friday of next week will probably be our first sprint, the 25-miler.
Right. And again, we're not going to close that off. The first sprint can go off and maybe we sell 120 spots. And there's still birds to activate. We're going to still keep it selling. As it sells, we just add that to the pot. So we're not going to close it off. We'll keep it going because I'm sure on the first one, it'll be real good to see a bird that's not activated be first.
And that's happened. Didn't it happen last year? I feel like it happened last year, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
Yeah.
it? Or did we do something where we just said the first bird? No, it's going to be the first bird on the clock. So what happens then? Let's just talk about this for a minute. So in the first sprint, right? Let's just say the first bird that arrives is not activated. That prize money, is it going to be carried to the following week, right?
No, it should be the first sprint bird that
Clock.
gets activated.
Yeah, the first.
So if he's 10th in,
he's 10th in. He's going to win it.
Sprint bird.
Yeah, because we're paying first, second, and third. We're not paying a winner take all. So to make it easier, because we're paying first, seconds, and thirds, Leah, we're going to say the first bird clocked, the first bird that's activated, he'll win.
Right, and the second bird that's activated gets second place, right?
Yeah, but I'm still saying people are going to notice. Oops, I could have won it today.
Oh, right.
I didn't activate my bird.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
I think that's what happened last year.
Now, we are going to have an adjustment on our pick bird series this year. We are going to have an adjustment on that. There's going to be a little fun tweak. But we're not talking about that yet because we're not even into pick birds. And you want to know what? I don't know if these birds can make it to the first race yet. They're still in graduation mode. That's the truth.
They're in training, yeah.
Yeah, they're in training, so please,
Mike Vandriak wants to know, how is the wing molt on the one loft birds?
What are they on? For second, third flight?
Mike, do you watch our shows? Mike, wait, put the windshield wipers on. I think it's raining. How's the wing molt? I think I showed yesterday with Frank. I must have done 25 birds with the wing. Some birds are good. Some birds haven't kicked a flight. Some birds are up on their seventh. Some birds are overall the wings are good on them. I think the average. I think like I'm talking about Mike's birds because I know they're Island Paradise, Boys in Blue.
Yeah.
You got full wings.
So they haven't dropped a flight.
Well, the odd ones dropped one or two.
Right.
Right now, certain guys brought birds that were already got molted.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy Henry Winter, his birds got 3 flights to go.
Way up there.
I mean, he brought them like that. What am I going to do? 100%. Right. Well, I'm not blaming anybody.
Right.
Right. Troy's bird. We're going to use Troy for example. His bird Porsche, full wing. I don't know. They're good. The wings are good. The body's molted out good.
On an average, they're
good.
They're good.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't complain. Classic flight, perfect wings, full wings. I'm just thinking of birds that I.
Mike said he's training when we're training. Well, you guys can always catch the rebroadcast both on Facebook and YouTube. You can just watch us over and over again on repeat if you really, really want to. What was I going to say? Oh, I thought of something and then I missed it. Mike likes to keep us on our toes.
Yeah, we know. We know, Mike. We know.
So tomorrow then, what is happening? Loft fly tomorrow morning. and then
Train.
let the games begin. We're gonna again release in groups at our new location. Woohoo! 25
Yes,
kilometers.
we're there. We're up in the wick.
However many miles that is, I'm not sure, but
It's about 17 miles, 16, 17 miles.
Yeah, we're getting to the spot here. I call it, there's a spot where the bleeding is gonna, I would think, stop. And right now we're getting to that point. These next, I would say, 3 tosses, 3 spots, the 17 miles, the 25 miles, and about the 50-mile mark. That's the spot here where your bleeding's, you're gonna still have some bleeding here, but then once you get past that 50-mile mark, she should calm right down. As we talked about yesterday, our buddy there out in Oklahoma, Rick Martis, he says you do not know your young pigeons until you have them on the wing 2 hours.
I've always said that as well.
Yeah, but we said the same thing. And that statement isn't for loft flying. That statement is you get them up, take them 70, 80, 90 miles, they go up, they're on the wing, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Put them in a headwind.
Make them do some work, and then you start to see what you really have. And that's, once you get them out to that spot, your bleeding normally is gone.
Yeah, I've got about probably 20 birds up there that don't want to fly. They do everything to avoid flying. Let's see. Well, some guy said take them short tosses and get them going. Doing short tosses sounds like a good idea. Little half-mile tosses,
Right.
But if the rest of them can fly, and you don't want to fly,
you end up losing them in the end.
You're gonna lose them in the end.
And everybody that says it fixes them, you want to know what? You did it with 10 of them. You fixed 1 of them or 2 of them. A lot of the time, it doesn't fix nothing.
And I'm looking at once they get up 30 miles, 40 miles, 50 miles, 80 kilometers, and they get that little bit of heat with a bit of headwind.
They pack it in.
I got to go pick them up and, 25 miles away because they landed in a subdivision somewhere at a pool,
Yeah, that's right.
So.
But that's that.
What are you going to do?
okay. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
No, hopefully, Brian, that helped you with the backs. Remember, you'll feel the back in your hand. The back will be tight.
I'm going to say one thing. Put pigeons together that have good conformation. The feel of the back, the vent bones, the keel, muscle tone, all that, buoyancy. Have all those things put together, and your chances of raising young ones are 100% better. If you put a bird together with a tail that goes up, he's got a short back, he's got a short keel, he's got no buoyancy, feels like a carcassy, and put that to something that feels the same, your chances of breeding something is not going to really work. Now, if you get a pigeon that has a short back, short keel, wide open vents, if you got to get a pigeon like that, and you're going to say, first of all, you got to say, how can I fix this? Well, I got to put it to a pigeon that has a better back, a better vent, a better this, a better that. If you start having to look for this stuff, you know what? Don't keep the pigeon. That's it.
And I will say, there are exceptions to every rule. That's true. Now hold on.
There's the odd time.
We have been to enough places, and I've been to enough guys' lofts, and I handle their winning pigeons, the good ones. And I never come out of there going, boy, that was one piece of shit. Nope, I have never. It doesn't happen. I've been all through Europe, super birds. I went to Dave down and visit him down there. Dave, he's winning down where he is. And those good birds, they feel like the European birds. Hold on. I went there to Indiana, to Miguel's. I handled national winners, one loft winners. Not one of them we said was a piece of shit in the hands. They were all super. But is there going to be the exception? Absolutely.
There'll be the odd one. There'll be the odd piece of garbage.
That's right.
That comes through. does something. But and you breed that piece of garbage.
You're going to
And
see.
next thing-
Remember, when they talked about the pigeon, the Daniel, he was the worst pigeon in the hands. But why did he breed out of that pigeon? Because the bird won 52 times first.
I believe it was 56.
56, 52, whatever it was. The pigeon, you had to breed out of it because he had the winning in him. And you know what he did? He was the exception to the rule. He bred the good ones.
He bred it to something good, and then he inbred it.
He did whatever he did.
He did
Whatever he did, and he got it going.
Right.
But again, guys, if you win a race with a pigeon from 100 miles, and it's a rickety old thing, and okay, you want to know what? What do they say? The sun shines on a dog's ass sometimes, or whatever. It's like it's a fluke. And I had a guy come the other day. He says, I couldn't keep racing last year. I said, well, why? I only went to 4 races and I stopped. Why? Well, I only had 4 birds left, and those were my 4 good ones. I said, well, how do we know they're any good? Well, they were my first birds the first 4 races. Those birds were all the first ones.
In his loft.
In his loft, okay. Well, why didn't you keep going? Well, I didn't want to lose them. Actually, you just made your loft worse because you were afraid. You can't be afraid. What is that going to do for you? I'm going to stop them for what? They got to work 9 weeks out of the year. How many people watching this show work 6 days a week? And they take, what, 2 weeks of holidays a year? Or some people don't even take holidays. They just keep working. Pigeons got to work every 7 days for 9 weeks.
It's like a soccer team or like a hockey team. If they can't play one good game a week.
But if you can't
get out there and play.
If you don't work them, you're not looking at anything. You're just saying they're good ones. They're not. Fly them. Let them show you. That's what they're there for. Take it away, Leah. Back to you.
Jay-Z says that he had a bird come home from 250 miles, never been trained, just loft flew.
Okay.
Well, that's good. He's flying a lot around the loft.
Yeah.
He's learning. He's exercising. He's training.
That's an extremist, but
you go to most of the guys in Europe and ask them how much do they train. They say, I train every day. It says, how far do you train? What do you mean, how far do I train? He loft flies twice a day, in the morning, in the afternoon. Loft flies for 1 hour in the morning. He gets them down. He says, I don't loft fly for 2 hours, or 2.5, or an hour and a half. 1 hour, I get them down. In the afternoon, I do the same thing. I get them down.
But again, hold on. If your birds are loft flying twice a day, and you do that for 4 months, right, and they're doing great, and you're going to be like Jay-Z and gamble and take those 30 birds, crank them out to 250 miles. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to like this. You may have 1 or 2 that do it. You may not have any that do it. You may not.
So can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
How come the Europeans are so successful at it?
Wait, hold on. The Europeans are successful. When we say they loft fly twice a day, they don't loft fly them twice a day and then crank them out to 300 miles. No. They loft fly them twice a day. They put them into a short race. They put them into a short race. They put them into a 200-mile race, and then they crank them out to the national races, 300-400-mile races.
A lot of these fellas in Europe, they belong to 3 clubs.
Yeah.
They belong to a short, a middle, and a long distance club. And they'll loft fly before the races, before the club races start. They may train them about 5 times.
Yeah, they do.
Up
go
to about 20, 30 kilometers. That's it.
Yeah, and then they go onto the truck and they say, well, hey, my birds are all on the sprint race this week. I'm not even clocking. I just want them to go for experience.
You're right. They take them on if they got a longer race on the weekend.
Yeah.
They'll take them to the short club on Monday or Tuesday. Or on Wednesday, they'll take them to 150-mile
right. They
race.
do. They do different things, and that's what we're saying. They train it. It's a little different, right? But I'm saying if you take 25 youngsters, you got them loft flying real good all season. You say, "How that I'm going to go at the end of the year, take them to 250 miles and drop them off," right? You know what? You may come out great. You may lose them all. Be prepared. That's all I'm saying.
Dave Ottaway says that. What, Ryan?
You want to take these Pioneer birds tomorrow? You want to take them to 100 miles? You want to gamble on that one?
No. That would be a hard no. Hard no.
Okay.
Dave says we send them 10 or 11 weeks in a row up to 350 miles headwind course. And he said you still have to stage them short to long.
That's right. Stage them. Stage them. That means prep them. You got to prep the car to go to you got to prep that car to be 7-8 hours on the wing. So you got to take them 3 hours on the wing.
Well, it's like we take our birds in the middle of the week. We'll take them to Bracebridge,
right?
Which is 80 miles, 130 kilometers.
Right.
They get that in the middle of the week.
Right. We do that just to blow them out, stretch them out a bit.
And like Dave says, on Monday, take them short. We take them short. Once they get past this sprint series, on Monday or Tuesday, we might take them a 20 mile.
We're going to tweak them. We tweak them through the week.
And then Wednesday, they're going to go to Bracebridge, which is 130 miles,
right?
Or kilometers, sorry, 80 miles. And then Thursday, we might take them a 20 miler, a straight 20 miler.
And as the season gets longer, you reduce those. So maybe you're doing 1 or 2 tosses a week. Everything depends on how the birds are coming.
Jay-Z says that he sold him and then he got away. He got out on the guy. So Jay-Z didn't take him to a race. He just got out. But Robert Daughtry says that my buddy told me to law fly, then take them out to a 25-mile toss 3 times a week. Work them birds.
Yeah, work those birds. You keep them at a 25-mile spot. The birds they dial in and they go. That's fine. I know some guys, they take them every day of the week. They take them to 10 miles. I know some guys, they go on Tuesday. They race on Saturday. Sunday, the birds stay in. Monday, they law fly. Tuesday, they go, a 40-mile. Wednesday, they go a 50-mile. Thursday, they go a 65-miler. They park them on Friday and go to the races. Right? It's just whatever you want. Whatever you're seeing how they look, right? Sometimes you look at the birds, they're beat. You know what? If a bird's beat, you can't run them 60 miles. You're taking starch out of the tank.
Well, that's where we talked about law flying an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening and park them through the day, okay? They rest. Rest is important as well.
Rest is more important. Once you get into racing, rest is more important than exercise.
Once you get them into that condition.
Once you get them in the condition, sleep is on your side, my friends. And again, I say it. If you go and let your birds out at 6 in the morning and you bring them in at 9 and you park them, okay, and you're going to go let them out at 6 o'clock at night for an hour fly or 7 o'clock at night for an hour fly. In between that time, here's my tip. Don't go in the loft. Don't open the doors. Don't go look in. Don't bring a friend over to go and handle your birds. Leave them alone and let them sleep.
Let them rest.
Yeah, they're going to rest. They're going to sleep. If you go in there every half an hour to see, is the cockbird driving the hen, or all you're doing is interrupting their rest. Back to you, Leah.
Troy says when it comes to training, better to go slow to accomplish as less loss, the least amount of losses, the better as possible.
Right.
I think that's what we always aim for.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody sets out on a training toss to lose half of their birds.
No, that's nonsense. And you're going to make decisions. You could say, I'm going to go train today, and you go, and the train went by, and it took an hour to get past there. You got an hour behind, and you normally let them out. You let them out that day, and you lose them all. You lose them to get in with other birds, and bang. You got to have luck with training as well. There's a bit of luck.
Bill Vulgaris says, once in condition, they only need to fly fast for 15 minutes to stay in shape. Fly, feed, sleep, repeat.
Easy, see? Fly, feed. Yeah, and that's right. You don't see Floyd Mayweather or you don't see Conor McDavid doing a UFC fight 2 days before the main fight, do you? No, or you just don't see that. So yeah, rest is key.
Jay-Z asks, how far do you think they go when they go rooting?
When they what we call ranging or rambling. Or
I don't know. Maybe a couple miles, 10 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles.
Dave says they will route 40 miles at times.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I'll tell you, sometimes they hook up I know one time I was out training, I let up 25 birds, and if they start rambling, they hook up with somebody else's 25. Now you got 50, and then they go around, they hook up with another 25 or 50. You could have 300 birds rambling, all different lofts together. And like I said, again, these guys are teenagers. They'll ramble like, I think Dave said, they'll ramble 30 miles to 40 miles.
How do they do that? How do they do that in Europe where things are so much tighter spaced?
Well, I'm gonna teach you something. I think there's so many pigeon men there. Pigeons are on another level, right? They're on another level. They're on another level. They have to be, because through years and years and years, your neighbor's got pigeons, that guy's got pigeons, that guy's got pigeons. It's just they go up and they mingle and they mingle. Those birds are training.
Yeah.
From the day they go out, they start training.
They get smart.
I mean, here we laugh and joke, right? Oh, I wonder if they got in with some of these birds today. If you were in Europe, every day your birds are going to mingle in with guys' birds, possibly every day.
Yeah, and the birds get harder and smarter. I know we went to Poland, talking to a guy in Poland. And Poland's not a very big country. They have 45,000 members in Poland. 45,000 members in Poland. And a fellow was telling me in their club, they have 300 members. Well, and just in their club.
Yeah, and you take a guy, and we can use Thomas and Bartosz because we knew them, right? Yeah. To breed 300 youngsters. That guy breeds 300 youngsters. He gets them out flying. Now hold on. You take 45,000 members, and if they each just minimum breed 100 babies,
100 youngsters.
How big is the sky of pigeons, Leah?
I don't have my calculator with me.
1 million pigeons there?
Do you think they're worried about people flying in other people's airspace?
Hey, listen.
I know.
Can I just? Where is it? I just have to. Come on, guys.
That's a funny one. I met a guy from another combine in the last few weeks, and he said to me, "Are you going to be liberating your birds in our airspace?" I said to him, "Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to invite your combine to liberate
with us.
We know.
Hey,
get her out.
Airspace.
Well, you know these other combines, and I'm not supposed to talk about it. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but I'm going to tell you.
Can you liberate in Toronto airport?
Listen, they are that other combine, because the silver big can. I'm going to tell you this right now. They're related to Nassau.
Well, there you go.
Take it away, Leah.
Let me get to the comments, and then we're going to wrap this up. Robert said that he tracked one today that did a 30-mile loft fly. Guido says, mine go to my fellow flyer home about 2 miles north, and then it's a game for them back and forth to each place. So he kind of has it like Europe does. He says, exactly, Ryan. They all fly to the same place. No 100-mile fronts like we have.
Yeah. But on the, it's funny the other way. A friend of mine, he passed away, Jim Groves. He had his pigeon loft just across the way. You could see his loft from our house. And he would put up 30 young ones, and I'd put up 30 young ones, or 30 birds each. He just let his up, and I happened to let mine up. And the group would get together for a second, and then part and fly separate around. Yeah. They would never take off together. But
hey, it was one of those
kind of funny, eh?
Every year is different, Ricky. Every year is different. Back to you, Leah.
I think that's it for me. So, what did Michael Peevler? Michael Peevler said, yes, look at Spring Hill, Florida. I mean, that's another prime example, right? Where you have lofts everywhere there.
Mm-hmm. How many thousand pigeons are in that one location? 20,000? Within about a 5-mile radius?
Yeah, there's pigeons everywhere there. I mean, yeah.
Do you know what we need to do? We need to get down there.
Do the show live from there, Leah.
What the hell are we doing here?
I'm willing to go. I got this. Hey, you know what? Hell with it, Leah. Let's pack up and go. Guys, tomorrow we're going to take these Pioneer birds. All the money's in. We're going to give it all away. We're going to give tomorrow mass release from 25 miles. First bird wins it all. And the sprint money too.
Guido says, Richard, you're right. They never mix. They always fly as two groups, even with
Yeah,
his and his neighbors.
yeah, but it's funny though, when they get out rambling for some reason and they get, let's say, 3 or 5 miles away or 10 miles away, and we say they hook up with other birds, it's kind of funny.
Maybe it's a bit different. I don't know.
Robert wants to know what's the best way to teach birds to break.
Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Wait.
Best way to teach birds to break. Don't train with other guys.
Yeah,
Number one.
teach your birds to be their own leaders. Number one, I think. Get them to the spot where you think they need to break, and a good repetition from that spot. You hear guys, and I'm going to use a Mark Codwell, where he was in England. He needed his birds to break at a certain spot. So he would go to that spot and he would train and train and train and train and train. And it was just a repetition. He would take them farther, but he called it the sweet spot. And he got those birds so locked in to that spot.
So they aim for that spot.
They aim for that spot. And again, do I recommend single tossing? Hell no. But if you got 25 birds, 5 groups of 5, drop them down to groups of 3. Get them hooked onto a spot. But remember, you're going to hook them onto a spot at 20 miles. You still got to get them out there a little ways. But you can have that same spot. And you heard V&V Loft. What he said was, reading between the lines, I like to give them about a 15-minute sprint. So that's probably around anywhere from 15 to 25-mile spot. Gets them up, whang, gets them home, fed and rest. That's what he's looking at.
I have a question for us new people. What are you talking about when you're talking about breaking? Because we understand breaking. We've only gotten to, breaking as far as breaking around the loft. When we think break, that's what we think. So for us new people, what are we talking about?
So is this person asking about breaking birds at home?
No, he's talking about to get them to break on the race course. And
okay, so if I could say something here.
You take
it. A lot of people say, I don't have any chance flying on this combine because my birds are going to get dragged by so many other birds into a certain path, line of flight, and I live over here, and my birds are going to get dragged down with the group, and there's no way I got a chance. My bird's going to have to break somewhere along here. Okay, that could be a way of thinking, yes. But if you have your pigeons in very good condition, physical condition, they will also be in great mental condition, okay? If your pigeons come out of that trailer and get out of that trailer, I say the breaking part is when they come out of that trailer. They got to be out of that trailer and first get out. And if they're out there and they're in the lead, there's no dragging. They're out in front.
The leaders make the lines. Again, always remember, wind plays a part.
Yeah.
Okay, if the wind's not in your favor, blowing them your way, you're going to have a tougher day. But that doesn't mean you're beat. Remember that as well.
Sometimes there's 1,500 birds getting liberated. Let's say I'm talking about a small liberation of 1,500 birds.
Right.
And you'll get 50 birds, or maybe 100, will snap out of that group like that. And if you've got 10 birds in there, they're in that group. So this fella's saying, that group's out there, so they gotta figure where they're gonna.
You set your birds to do your thing. Again, we had a guy come with us on the weekend. I'm not gonna mention names. A gentleman came and he brought a map, and he was drawing out where he wanted to go. And then he came with us, and he said, "Well, I'm gonna come over here and start training where you are." No, you're coming on my line of flight, the line I'm training my birds on. I want to brainwash my birds for this line.
That's right.
And my friend, if I was an asshole, I say, well, yeah, come on, bring them over. Bring them over. Come on onto my line. Bring them onto my line. Because the more birds I got coming on my line,
they're
better for me. And those birds line themselves up.
Those birds, when you train like that, they all have their own little highway. In
Yep.
other words, I take the 400 home, he takes the 401 home because he knows that's his line.
Yeah.
And they learn those lines.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And if you teach them off the line, they'll go to another line and come back.
Put it this way. The only guy, and when I train, this is just a me thing, you'll notice we will not let our birds out against each other. I'm training my group, he can train his group. I'm not messing around because that adds stress to the bird. I want the birds to race on the weekend. Other than that, when they come home from the race, they rest, and I build the confidence up.
I put old birds in.
Hold on.
Right?
Just
they're coming down.
Could you just
right?
Listen, tomorrow I'm going to use Tony Alvis. If he says we're going to go training together,
I don't do that.
I'm not going with Tony. I'll go with Tony for the drive. I'll let my birds out first, or his birds out first, and I'll wait a half hour, and then mine go to work.
That's right.
I'm not making them race against. I'm not doing that. I see these clubs, they get together and do these group things.
Yeah,
I'm not into it.
I don't think they don't realize what it is they're doing by doing that. I think they think they're doing a good thing when in fact they're hurting their training program by doing that.
I think it's good when you train. If you go to a spot, if you can wait for 15 minutes or 20 minutes before you liberate, I think it's very good. The birds get settled down. The birds have a chance to think and sit and think. You know, I think when you go to a spot and you just slam the brakes on, slip the thing in park, and have your hand in the basket, bang, go. I got to go to work. Bye. I don't think that's good.
Now, hold on. I think this is that point. You can do that towards your end of your season when the birds are well seasoned or yearlings, okay? If you got to be in a hurry. But I think with young pigeons, when you first start training, hey, good rule of thumb, get yourself a coffee or a Coke. Get there, open it, say, when I'm done drinking this, I'm going to get them out. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a cup of coffee, it's gone. Birds go out.
So hopefully for the new people, you guys have heard that. Don't just go to the release point and let them out. Sit there. 15 minutes, 20 minutes of them sitting there in the basket before you release them.
That's right.
That's right. And if you're late for work 15 minutes every day, you just tell the boss, it's not me. I had to wait to liberate my birds.
And he'll understand. Try and get him into pigeons. And you know, another thing, new guys, when we trying to help you and give you some tips on training, listen, I want to see you guys do good. You know what? These people that want to train with us, if you're not on our line, once we get further up, that's one thing. But these short tosses, guys, line yourselves up. Draw the line to the race points. Make your map. And there you go. That's your roadmap. Go the distances you want to go. And again, I say to people, follow the show.
Mike Vaniak says the birds need to learn to break right from the release point, just like Loft Manager Richard said. Take for a grain of salt what the conventional wisdom preaches. Gerber, nice to see you on, says very informative question and answer session, especially for the rookies. Thanks, guys. Our pleasure. Dave Ottaway says breaking on the road, it's called your speed point. 20 miles is perfect. That's what he uses, 20 miles. Mike says fire up your GPS tracking bands, Dave, and you will quickly forget all about breaking points and speed points. Now Rita says, what is a speed point?
Well, a speed point, basically a speed point is the birds, if you pick one spot, and let's just pick a spot, Dave said 20 miles. So let's pick a spot 20 miles from your place on the line of flight to the races. One spot. We're going to say it's the local Walmart 20 miles away. It's right on your line. Nice big parking lot. It's a great spot. And once you get your birds training out, you get them out to that 20-mile mark, and they're coming good. Then you get them out 40 miles, 50 miles, 60 miles, 80 miles. You get them out, and they're coming good. You've had them on the wing 2 hours. They're coming good.
Right.
Now you say, drop the gears back, and we keep them at 20 miles. Boom, boom. Keep them there. Just keep them going from there. What you do is they'll go to that point. They focus in on it. They come out of the basket and they go. They come out of the basket and they go. They know exactly where they are.
Once they
They
hit
basically,
that point, that's that comfort zone.
it's the comfort zone.
So
And the same token, when they're coming down from the race point, they're not even thinking your loft. They're thinking the speed point. Where's that spot? Where's Walmart? Because once I hit Walmart, I'm home. And I'll tell you, and you can ask Dave, you can take those pigeons right up to dark to that point, and they'll still fire. You start an hour before dark, you take them 20 miles to that spot, let's say, an hour before dark, boom, they'll come. Right? Oh, next day, take them 45 minutes before dark, boom, they'll come. Next day, 30 minutes, boom, they'll come. Next day, take them 15 minutes before dark, boom, they'll come. Take them just and let them out just as it's almost dark, boom, they'll come.
Mike said speed point is nonsense. Forget about it, Rita. Henry asks, do you consider the K index? Not sure what that is. And Clive over on YouTube says, love your show. What line is the most consistent spent line? Oh boy, that's a whole lot.
Well, Mike, if there wasn't a speed point,
I don't call it a speed point. I call it this comfort point. Loft flying, first of all, number one, loft flying puts around that loft, puts something into their brain. That is the main spot. That's the main spot around that loft. And when they leave from up there, the signal goes, that's my spot. But if you train on a line as well, once they hit, they'll aim for that line, that highway that takes them right to that circle around that loft where they were loft flying, right?
I get that, but is it a speed point? Is it a point of focus?
So what I think maybe he's thinking is when they hit that point, all of a sudden they accelerate from 80 kilometers an hour. They accelerate now up to 95 kilometers. That's not what we're talking about.
No, we're just. I don't think they pick up the pace at all. I just think they lock in and they're home.
Is it so? It's like an express toll route kind of thing.
Yeah, they're building that confidence up to get on there and.
Somebody said, and I don't know who in the comments, that Robert and I think Mike Vanderyak, that's why he flies the young with the old birds, or I guess trains with his young birds. He puts old birds in with them to help develop that line, straight line.
The old birds have experience.
That's right. We had it there yesterday. The old birds there, the old cocks there. Where did they come? They come in 11 minutes yesterday. The two cocks came.
Yeah, they
blew the young ones right out of the water.
Right out of the water.
Gone. But that's what it is, you know. But I think to pick a spot and have hey, you're going to see us this year. We're going to be training from the rock, right? That's sort of our little speed point, right? We go there 2 or 3 times a week. Boom, boom, boom. Well, you know what? I get there. I look. Oh, it's windy today. They're going to take 33 minutes. Oh, it's tailwind today. They're going to take 28 minutes. It's the same thing. I don't even think.
And we're at.
It's pouring rain. Okay, let them go. They still make it.
That's 24 miles, right?
That's right. Back to you, Leah.
Mike Vanderyak said, if you use the GPS trackers, Ryan, as I have, you will see that the birds never fly twice over that Walmart. They come on different lines almost every toss.
Now, this is what I've been hearing with this GPS thing, that it's not good for the birds, for the tracking. I don't know about this.
So
listen,
they're not on that line. Are they off maybe a half a mile this way or a quarter mile
that way, depending on the wind? I mean, I don't think if they're coming down the Walmart line, I don't think they're going to be 17 miles over. I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of funny. I can go from the lake. I can go down the road, let them out, get on the road. I start looking to my left, and I get about 3 miles out. Oh, look. They're about half a mile out in that field. They're cutting. And all of a sudden, they come back over, and they cross the highway. And they go a quarter mile over that way, and I can still see them. Then I hit a red light, and I go, oh, shit, they're gone. I catch up 2 minutes later, driving like a wackadoo, flying down the road. I look. They come right over the road again. Son of a bitch, eh? They went right over Carly Road where we're going. Shit, right over that field. Boom. Now, did they go right over on the left side of the field or the right side of the field? I'm not saying they're going to draw a line dead perfect because the pigeon rocks and rolls in the wind. But in a basic tunnel, I'm pretty sure. And would I use GPS tracker bands? Would you waste the money?
Oh, if you got the money,
I won't waste my money.
Maybe try it out. You only
Mike
get a
says
few bands.
Mike says you would forget everything you thought you knew if you used the tracker bands for a season. Jay-Z wants to know if we're going to the bait shop this year. Did we go to the bait shop last year?
Yeah, that was at.
No, that was supposed to be Dunchurch, but it wasn't.
Oh God, let's not talk about that.
That was 13 kilometers east of Dunchurch. But everybody thought they were liberated.
Hey, hold on a second here. Hey, Mike, I want to ask you a question. I want you to race the whole season with tracker bands on. The whole season. Not picking pigeons. I want the whole season with every damn bird. That's what I want to see.
Dave Ottaway says GPS is a waste of time, and I think
Thank you.
doesn't he have them? Dave, doesn't Dave have them as well? He just doesn't use them, right?
I think the tracker bands, mind my language, F up the bird's brain somewhat. There's something wrong with that. I just don't think that there's something with the magnetics. I don't know. You know what I do know? I take them to the 25-mile mark, and they do it in this amount of time. I see them on the road, my own birds. You want to know what that is? That's called GPS tracking.
You know what I found? That at one time
I
used to train up that 404, which was so convenient for me.
Right, and the birds would come over because we lined them up.
Let me say, that 404 from my house is probably a 3/4 of a mile, or a mile west. Right. I take them up that 404 right to the end, and because convenient.
Right.
And they come down like bullets. Just boom, down the 404. They come right in here, bang. Then I experienced it, that I would take the birds, the 404 ended, so I had to take the birds over to Warden, which is a mile and a quarter over.
Right.
To go north.
Right.
And I took them up Warden to the lake, which is 25 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And I let them go. And I seen it a few times. I'd come down Warden, and they would, I would see them flying on this side of Warden, on that side of Warden. You know, they see the crossover. And then I got to, at that time, the 404.
Okay, you got to where you had to cut over to the 404. So you cut over to the 404. So you get on the 404, and all of a sudden, right over to 404, they'd come over there.
They'd fly over to that, it was Highway 9 in the 404.
Okay, whatever. Why would they do that?
And they come down the 404 and come back. And I was losing about 4 minutes every race.
Well, that's what we figured.
Yeah, they went over to the 404.
Because we trained them,
on that line.
We trained them to fail. That's what I think.
I've seen it many times. They cross right over, and they go over to the 404.
Oh,
and then
sorry.
I'd see them, and I'm going, why are you going over to the 404? And they come down.
Oh, no, nothing. I forgot to read out one of Dave's comments. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Where is it here? Where are we here? The race point. Okay, so Dave says constant training from that point will teach your birds to be in the lead. The lead pack at the trailer release. It's for the trailer release. Fast braking from the race point, not the speed point.
That's a big thing.
Right.
Yeah. You're first at the start. Your first bird's out.
When you train your birds, like he says, the speed point, it does multiple things. It gives them a funnel that they aim for when they're coming down from their points. But if you get them on there and you get them firing like a guy like Dean Pallett would do, take them 5 times to 12 miles in a day, he says the pigeons come out of the basket and they don't circle one circle. They go up and they go. And he's getting them in their brain when they're on that truck and the gate drops. They think in their mind they're at the point and they go. And as they get going, they're orientating, boom, while they're going. Take it away, Leah.
The first out of that trailer.
Rick Beach says it's been proven birds like to follow freeways and train tracks. Owen's never heard of GPS bands.
Don't waste your money, Owen.
Yeah, you're not there yet, Owen. Don't worry about it.
Just stay away. It sounds great. I don't know. I'm not into it. I'll never use them.
Well, it's interesting.
Is it interesting?
Mike says Google the Moen while we're studying what they have taught us. You never know. Mike finds it useful and handy. If anybody has, ask questions about GPS and how it works and whether or not it works, ask Mike Vandriak or
I
Dave
was
Ottaway.
talking to a fellow that uses that GPS, and he said he watches. I've never used it, but he was telling me he watches the birds. Let's say from 80 miles.
Mm-hmm.
The birds fly, I don't know, 20 miles, and for some reason, they all of a sudden they do a couple circles, and then they go again. That's what he said.
So I think my question to Mike is, how has you having the technology of GPS, what have the benefits you found? Have you adjusted your training program according to the results? Have you adjusted your feeding? Have you adjusted, how is it, what benefits do you find other than just having this information? Like, how are you using it into your training program?
And the other thing is, I've said, I think it's a nice, fun thing to look at and see.
That's right.
I don't think it improves anything of your flying. It does none of that. Because everywhere we've been, at every show I've been to, I don't see booths. I don't see herbots come up to me and say, hey, Ron, you got to go get those GPS rings. They're going to make your training better. They're going to improve anything. You don't see it.
Now, Robert Daughtry says that he's been using GPS for 3 years and he loves it for training. Okay, in what way? Because you know which way that they came home, or is it teaching you something? Are you adjusting things accordingly? How is it? I just want to know in what way it helps you, or it's helped you. Curious.
I think the only thing it helps you with is it tells you, hey, look, I took them and took them down there, and they went way over there. Something happened, but it doesn't tell you that you mingled in with other birds.
If we had all that GPS on all those birds yesterday, what is that, a band or a harness?
A band.
A band. Then we would know where those 12 birds are today.
No, they got to come home for you to
oh, okay.
They got to come home, and you got to take the stupid chip off. I think that's what it is, and download it and upload it and recalculate it. And you see how fast they fly. What?
If it works for some people and they're happy with it, and if you guys might be interested in it, Google it. Like Mike says, Google it and make your own informed decision based on your research. Just because Ryan says he doesn't like it, or Richard says, or Dave Ottaway, that doesn't mean nothing. Mike likes it. Robert likes it. I think there's some other guy out in Nova Scotia that uses it.
Okay.
These are just our opinions. That's all.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, yeah. And if someone says to me, "You're gonna put these bands on those birds for the one loft," no, I wouldn't do it.
I think those pigeons, that when they come out of that trailer, if they can get, let's say, 10 minutes or 15 minutes ahead of that group, like when that trailer.
We're not talking about that now. We're just talking about the GPS rings. You're going back to this, but that's okay. We get it. They got to break quick. Get in the first group, or guess what? You're behind. And when you're behind, then you're not catching up. And always remember, pigeons, they all start at the same speed. It's the ones that keep the condition the longest. They keep the start speed the longest.
Yeah.
So your Ardens and your Jansons, they fly around the loft. This is fighting words at the same speed.
The only thing that changes the situation along that line is weather.
Right.
They hit rain.
Hold on.
Or whatever.
But they'll hold the start speed. The birds that hold the start speed the longest, and the birds that draw the straightest line.
That's right.
Start speed, straightest line. So conditioning and feeding is key, and good training. Back to you, Leah.
Owen says it would be cool if you could track the pigeons to know why it didn't come home, but it has to come home for you to be able to get the reading, right?
That's right.
That's why it's stupid.
It's funny that they don't make it, that you could actually watch
it. They can, but they'd probably be selling them at $500 a chip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what Dave said. They're like $50 for a band. Robert says that lets you know how they come home. Mike says what he likes about the GPS is that it tracks. What I like about the GPS tracks is that they dispel all the myths of the hobby, like training from a speed point, wind, drag, etc., etc. Bill says you can tell if they're off track by how long they take to come home. from your usual spot. You don't need GPS to tell you that.
Yeah, well, Mike, I don't understand something, Mike. You're telling me you're single tossing at 25 miles, but then you're saying, do you not have a point that you go to where you know when you take them, you let them out? They normally take 25 minutes. If it's a headwind, it's 30 minutes. If it's a tailwind, they're 22 minutes. Come on, you don't need a GPS for that. Exactly like what Bill's saying. This is common sense. And you know what? If they don't go right on the line, they're swerving this way or that way, but they're on they're on their little funnel, their little spot. This is, I think, what we're saying. And you go to 100 miles or 200 miles. Okay, that's different.
Well, we can
But does the GPS? I'm wondering, does it slightly mess up the homing of the bird? I'm wondering that.
Who knows?
I'm wondering that. And we can't ask a pigeon, can we?
Remember some years ago, we got those harnesses for the birds, and that we put some kind of
The pigeons couldn't even fly with them.
They couldn't fly with them. The pigeon was flying great with the group.
Yeah.
And then we put harnesses on. It was GPS as well.
Yeah.
And the pigeons couldn't keep up. They started falling back.
Yeah.
So Rita wants to know what a GPS is. So GPS is a GPS tracker, like in a band form that you put on the pigeon's leg, and it has a little tracking device in it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And when it comes home, it'll plot out on a map the route in which the pigeon took to get home.
Yeah, you can see it on your laptop.
It'll show the elevations, it'll show the speed, it'll show... It draws you a complete line. And I do think it's kind of neat. But I think when you get down into serious race mode, I'm going to go with the guys in Belgium and that. Didn't even tell you get onto this GPS and figure it out? No. They do the work and they get the result. They don't worry about, did my bird circle this way? They know, hey, that bird should have been 22 minutes. He was 29 minutes. He messed around, you know? Or 40 minutes he messed around today. They know. Hey, look at those birds, those two cocks. They smoked 160 youngsters, didn't they? They smoked them. You want to know what the youngsters were doing? They were dicking around. And you know what I don't need? I don't need a GPS to tell me that. Because the time that they should have been, they weren't. They were dicking around. Back to you, Leah.
Okay, so we've been on for 2 hours. It's now 10 o'clock. So we're going to wrap this up. Great show again this evening, guys. Audience, everybody, YouTube, Facebook, thank you.
Good job.
Good show.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mike. Guido.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, guys. Mike, Guido, Jay-Z, Robert Daughtry, Brian Mansker, everybody who participated in the conversation. Troy. Good show. Rita wants to know, how does it work? If it's on their leg, do you need a device at home to register it? Yeah, it's like a whole system. It's like a whole nother clocking system, but
Rita, for Tony, don't get it. Don't get it for him. You're gonna scramble your brain. Just trust me.
It'll be on a laptop, and you can see the route that how they come, and you could say, okay, my bird should have taken 10 minutes to come from here, but it took him an hour, and you'll see that he flew to Orangeville and then came back. You'll see exactly where he went.
Like Mike says, it's neat for him to see. He likes to see the route that his birds took, or whatever birds have the chip on it. I get it. It's a neat, fun little, experiment. Do you really need a 60-inch TV? No, you don't. But it sure is nice when you have a 60-inch TV. It's one of those. It's not a necessity.
I guess it would be nice to have it on what we have on our birds here, and to see. Okay, you got 26 on a drop. You got the other, but then you got to band all these birds. And it's going to be a
lot of money. And you know what? I just don't. You know what? If you have the money and you're very interested, go for it. Is it going to make you a winner? No, I promise you, it won't make you a winner.
Henry says Rita wants to get one to put on Tony. Have we not already talked about getting one for loft manager Ricky?
Yeah, guys, you want to see Ricky on training? He'll sometimes just stop, get out of the car, and circle around the car a bit. I've seen him do it, Leah.
No, if you put the bands on, though, it'll almost drive you nuts, because you go watch when they come home. You go, holy jumping, you guys! You guys flew out to Aurora.
Tony,
then you flew back to
Don't
Stouffville.
get a GPS system. You're going to go crazy, Tony.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you lose them, you lose a $50 chip. And you know what? You're going to lose about 5 of them, and you're going to just say, I think I had enough with that one.
You're gonna, but then how? The thing is, if you watch it on the flat laptop or something,
Flat top
you're gonna
grill,
go,
yeah.
oh look at, I find they're going to Queensville instead of coming home, and they went to Mount Albert, and then you're gonna go, how in the heck can I fix these birds to straighten this problem out? You're gonna go crazy in the head.
You're going to go crazy.
Like Michael Peevler says, if you Google GPS pigeon tracking, or if you go on YouTube and type it in, I'm sure there'll be lots of how-to videos and what it does and all that good stuff. Or ask
You
my
know,
family.
we had.
We're gonna wrap this up in a minute. I gotta go to bed.
Let me say something. Years ago, when we had the business, a trucking business, we used to have GPS on the trucks, and I had one in my truck.
Yeah.
And my wife would say, I was supposed to go to deliver to this area, and why were you on that street?
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to be on that street. You're supposed to be on the other street.
Well, you know, this is what's so great about this show. We don't
It
know
sure
where
is.
we're going.
We don't know where we're going.
We went on tracking.
Yeah.
We
But,
were on tracking.
Oh, my
I
pigeons!
know-
I watched my pigeons. They landed on this apartment building for an hour.
Enough with it, man. Enough.
Call that apartment building up and tell the guy, get my pigeons off the roof right away.
Fun show, good show. Join Ryan tomorrow morning around 7 for the Law Fly, and we'll be on tomorrow afternoon for training flight number 9, 25
What
kilometers.
time? Around 1?
Yep.
Whoop.
Whoa.
Camera just got possessed. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
I overheated her. I overheated the motor.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it
All
up.
right, guys. I'm Ryan. That's
Have
Leah.
a good one.
Wrap her up, Leah.
And that's Loft Manager Richard. We're from the Pioneer Racing